which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our show Islamic Law Today. Thank you for being with us. And I would like to thank Professor Muhammad Naem Asaee for being with us today. Professor Muhammad Naem Asaee is a professor in several American universities and is a permanent member in the Fatwa Committee in America. I would like you to remember that you can communicate with us through our email islamiclawtoday@huda.tv, or you can call us at 00202 3855 248 or 249. And you are welcome, of course, to give us your suggestions and your questions as well. As a reminder, I would like to remind you about what we were talking about in the last episode last week. Professor Muhammad was sharing with us his knowledge about the ruling system in Islam, how Muslims in Islamic State can choose a president or a prince. And he mentioned that in the Islamic law, there is no such precise title that we can choose. The Sharia law give it free for the Muslim Ummah to choose the title, either president, emir, prince, or khalifa. And at the same time, it gives the freedom for the nation to choose either the term of this president, how many years he can stay, if it's a long term, short term, how many times. And at the same time, he gave us a lot of ideas how to impeach this regime or how to give an extension to this regime as well. Professor Muhammad, at the end of this episode, of the last episode, you mentioned a statement, and I asked you to repeat it again because it was very beautiful. And you said that the punishment is not applicable unless if the environment motivate to commit crimes. Would you please clarify this statement?
Yes, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ya Rabbana laka alhamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhika wa azimi sultanik. Allahumma as'aluka an taj'ala a'malana wa aqwalana wa niyatina kullaha khalisatan li wajhika al-karim bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Irfa' al-bala'a 'anna wa 'an al-muslimin. فرج الكرب عنا وعن المكروبين ونفس الهم عنا وعن المهمومين. اللهم زلزل الأقدام تحت الظالمين. اللهم أبرم هذه أمتي أمر رشد يعز به أهل دينك وأهل طاعتك ويذل به أهل معصيتك والصادين عن سبيلك يا رب العالمين.
آمين.
Islam in general is so beautiful, so unique in every aspect of it. And no wonder it is coming from the Creator, who knows subhanahu wa ta'ala what is good for these human beings in this earth, what does fit their need, what does comply with their nature, what does make their mission in their life a successful one, and their safety in the day of judgment to be in the same route. So no wonder if we talking about the application of the Islamic law, as we said the other episode, suppose that we have authority in a state next day to declare the Islamic state and the application of the Sharia or the Islamic law. I said, is it possible to apply everything in this Sharia, including the criminal system, including to apply the punishment for certain crimes next day, or there's some other maybe reservations on this area? Yes, there is some reservation on this area, because Islam is the master of realism, not idealism. Islam is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, means descent to the human being, to mankind, not for angels, not for like illusional maybe creatures. It is coming to fix problems, to give the manual book for this life and hereafter. So if we are looking right now very deeply in our societies, in any Muslim countries, and let us bring the example of Egypt, because it did happen in Egypt right now. They have revolution, and they are going to change the system of the ruling system in Egypt. Suppose we said that we are demanding as Muslim scholars, Muslim jurists, to have the Sharia to be applied and the state to be a Muslim state. All of this Muslim scholars demand. But we have seen in Egypt and some other Muslim countries this kind of full corruptions, this kind of full contradictive rules going on in the societies does not bring the environment and the atmosphere of any of these Muslim countries to the stage of being ready to receive every certain part of the Islamic Sharia. It is ready for many part of the Sharia. It's ready even welcoming many part of the Islamic law rules. But in certain areas, like criminal system, we have some kind of gap, some lack of fitting and matching and serving each other between the judicial system and the criminal system. In Islam, everything, as we said, serve each other. Every system does serve the other system. Economy system serve the judicial system, and this system does serve the criminal system, social system, educational system, any system, even political system, political ruling system. Everything does serve each other. So when we are finding, after a very deep viewing to the society, we found that poverty, it is not a case of individual. It's like a general problem in Egypt. Corruption, it is not an individual problem, it is a general problem in the society. The absence of justice is not like individually happened in some maybe areas or some maybe offices. It is like general, the absence of justice. So if we finding that certain person or individual person in Egypt, he is not able to fulfill his natural need, to cover his minimum requirement of simple life with dignity, like having his own home, having his own transportation, having his family to be married in a lawful way, in a very decent life. How could we now apply the punishment of cutting the hand of someone stealing money or being having some money in unlawful things if we are not providing the minimum decent requirement for decent life for individual person? So we got this meaning from, as a Muslim scholars, from Islamic law rules, going back to the Sayyidina Umar Khattab time, when Muslims, they were facing in one of the years of Sayyidina Umar Khattab leadership, a very hardship.
A famine.
Yes.
They suffered from the famine. They couldn't find food or something.
Exactly. In that year, Sayyidina Umar Khattab, he put the application of the punishment of stealing as a pending till that general difficulties and hardship to be removed or be taken away from the whole Muslims' life. So someone did steal, he did not punish him to cut his hand. Even we know as a fact that maybe some of these people, when they did steal, maybe they did steal because they are thief. They are not under the same excuse of what we have said. But because this is a general disaster, a general crisis, so you cannot separate or maybe distinguish between honest person or someone who was pushed and forced to steal because of that general problem, and someone maybe he's doing that because this is his habit and his attitude. So that maybe general mercy covers everyone because of the general disaster. So what we have seen in Egypt and some other Muslim countries, that people, they don't have the decent life. They don't have enough means and tools to cover their own need. Young people, they cannot, in high percentage, find home for their marriage life. They cannot find a job to support their family. They cannot even buy decent transportation to go from their home to their job and their work. So it's very hardship young people are going through. And not just young people, many people. So if you are applying the Sharia rules right now, like 10 days from now, or 1 day, or months, or 1 year, without having the whole changing of the whole environment and atmosphere to say or to suggest that we have covered the need of the people, most likely. So now, after this covering, after fulfilling their need and bringing the decent life to majority of them, we are going to apply the Sharia rules regarding the punishment of someone stealing something like this.
Which make me wonder, when we say we can put the Sharia law pending in this part, let's say the criminal part of it.
Not all the criminal, just
the stealing of, if it's
part
of the criminal,
yes.
Like stealing if he stealing for food or something like this. But it means that we have to apply quickly the Islamic Sharia for the economy, for example, the economical system, to fix this problem. Is that would be right to say, or we have to say even this we have to make it in a gradual way?
SubhanAllah, what you have asked exactly leads us to the another principle in Islam, other maybe a way of seeing the beauty of these Islamic law rules. As we said before, you cannot separate between a specific system in Islam and apply one or two or three systems. You have to apply all of them in order to bring the beauty of Islamic law, in order to bring and to achieve and accomplish the means and the goals and the aims of the application of the Islamic law. Islam in general is a one package, does have many systems. Each system does have its own package, but in general, each one does serve the other one. That means that we have to apply the Sharia as much as we can, as quicker as we can, in order to bring the meaning of the application of the Sharia into the society. So in that case, we'll see people are enjoying having this application, and they are reacting to this application, and even helping to apply with this Islamic rule and Islamic Sharia. Let me just bring some beautiful Islamic law rule in this regard, to cover the whole maybe Islamic Sharia from that regard. You cannot find one single Islamic law rule or issue to prevent something, to say that it is unlawful, but to see beside this commandment of this specific rule, but to see every kind of other maybe rules to support this rule and to help achieving the goal of this Islamic law issue.
Can we take this part in the next segment, inshallah? After the break, we will go for a quick break. Please stay with us. We have more to say.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Do you have questions that bother you? What about issues of concern to you? Would you like to share things on your mind with us? Are you interested in solutions based on an Islamic perspective? Please join me live in Meet Your Advisor every Friday at 9 p.m. Mecca time, here on Huda TV.
How to be proactive in Islam, how to serve our religion, how to serve our life.
No, we want them to be proactive in matters that are related to their ummah, the true leader. And this is maybe we need to have this, okay, among us as Muslims. The true leader is the one who creates leaders.
So the society at the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave the chance for the children to blossom.
Now who took the reward of this? The initiative of Ali bin Abi Talib. Ali bin Abi Talib took the reward because of his initiative.
How long have you been passive? How much time have you lost in your life because of negativity? Learn how to take conscious control over your life. Set your goals and work to achieve them in an Islamic way.
If you really love your wife, your children, your parents, your people, then you have to do your utmost. You have to do whatever you can in order to invite them to Islam. We are in need for these reminders. The main point is ikhlas, is sincerity, is what I want to get in the hereafter.
Join Sheikh Haytham Al-Haddad and his host, Muhammad Abdurrahim, in this inspiring show.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, before going to the break, you were talking about a rule that will show the beauty of the Sharia law, about what exactly the Sharia, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us something, He help during this Sharia system, that how we can apply it. He gives us some kind of support.
Exactly. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And His mercy to be seen in every part of this life, in every part of this universe, and even in every part in this Islamic law. Because this is from Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everything coming out of the Creator, subhanahu wa ta'ala, has to show His mercy, as long as to show His justice and His wisdom and His perfection, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you talk about mercy right now, yes indeed, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala command His servant to not commit a certain thing, and to consider it as unlawful things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us to not commit that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will legislate some other maybe rules to support the original rule, to prevent any kind of maybe possibilities or means or tools for committing that unlawful action. An example,
yes.
When Islam by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevented and commanded His servant to not commit adultery, it was very clear mercy from Him, and a clear help from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a clear uniqueness of His legislation subhanahu wa ta'ala, to see beside the ruling of preventing and making adultery is a lawful action, to see some other rules coming beside this to help Muslims to stay away from this great crime, and to cut any kind of maybe tools might help to commit that crime, and make barriers between you and committing these crimes. Islam, in that regard, after saying adultery is unlawful, it is a major sin, Islam said in the same time, for Muslim ladies, even ladies in the Muslim society in general, they have to apply modesty. The way they talk, the way they dress, the way that they walk, they have to be a symbol of modesty, not to be a tool or mean for attractions or encouraging someone to commit that crime. So for women to dress modesty, talk modesty and walk modesty, and to spread all this meaning of modesty in the street of Muslim societies. In the same time, Islam encouraged people to get married. Marriage in Islam has been very unique in the way Islam does look at it, the way Islam does command its people, on its servant, how to achieve this beautiful relationship. Islam has made it very simple and very easy, and encourage its servant to apply this rule to help the other original rule of not committing adultery in the society. Islam at the same time commanded men, because there's certain orders to be directed to women and certain rules to be directed to men at the same time, because we are in the same boat. We are in one society. So men, they have to help women, women, they have to help men to achieve the goal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of preventing evil things in the society and committing any kind of things against the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to help them to be in the field of obedience of Him subhanahu wa ta'ala.
We have a caller, Brother Ayman from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Please, I have a question, please.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to ask why Arab countries doesn't follow the rules and the punishments in Islamic life, like punishing thieves and the killers, and that's my question. I want to know why they don't, and also why they don't make rules in what they call West countries and teaching religion and following the rules and spreading religion of Islam.
Would you please clarify the question? You are asking why the Arab countries, they are not
following the rules and the punishments what Islam has said in the Qur'an,
yes,
like cutting hands in the Quran and like that, and also why punishment thieves, like of thieves of countries or this and that, and spreading why you don't let spread correctly the Islamic religion in the whole world, also by following the rules of Islam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
He's asking why the Arab countries are not applying the Sharia law when it comes to the criminal aspects, like cutting off the hands of the thief, and at the same time why Muslims, they are not spreading the teachings of Islam around the world.
Well, for the first part of the question is to be answered very simply. They don't want, as they said that very frankly, in many occasions, they don't want to see the application of the Sharia in the first place. So if they are not applying the criminal system, even judicial system in their countries, it's like the result of the rejection of the whole Islamic law. Unfortunately, as a matter of fact, we are judging the people in Muslim countries, most in Arab countries, by imported rules and important civil law.
Yes.
And this civil law being imported from different countries, and maybe France, Britain, and unfortunately Britain,
Germany.
Yes, France specifically did import its civil law from us.
Really?
But they were borrowing our Islamic law when Napoleon was in Egypt. He brought with him many people expert in law and rules and civil law. They did transported with them thousands of books of Muslims to see how Muslim they were very advanced in their judiciary system and economy system and all the Islamic law part, and they started to write the French civil law. And after they finished that, we brought that from them. We imported that from them. In Syria, in Lebanon, it's like French civil law. Yes. And we know as a fact that most of the French civil law is being taken from Imam Malik school of thought.
Really?
Most of it. And sometimes some statement in the French civil law is being taken literally from the book of Imam Malik's school of thought. So this is, unfortunately, this is what was happening and still happening. So answer for that question, Muslim rulers, I ask Allah to guide all of them to have this opportunity right now and to apply the Islamic law, because this is something to feel proud of it, something to let their people to enjoy having it, and to be like example of others and to be able to deliver the message to others. And this maybe answered the second part of the question, why you are not spreading Islamic teaching, because we are ourselves, we are not able to digest or maybe understand the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being Muslims and having all this very unique and very superior Islamic law system. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it happen in these coming days, inshallah ta'ala. Days means could be like a year, 2 years, 10 years, Allah ta'ala alam, Allah knows. But this is what we are asking for, this is what we are working for, inshallah.
Inshallah. Regarding the first question, I have another answer, which is the Arab rulers don't want to apply the Sharia law because basically after what we found, they didn't want to cut off their own hands, basically. Because they know if they apply the Sharia law, they have to apply it on themselves.
Well, this is from your pocket.
Yeah, this is from myself.
Yeah, anyway. But let us just go back to the same point we have. We were talking about this kind of the completion and the perfection and this kind of matching and fitting for all the Islamic law part. When we say that Islam, when he commands something, Islam will help to follow the commandment. If Islam prevent you to do something, Islam will help you to not to do that thing. And this shows the perfection, shows the justice and the mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine that when we have seen this in the Muslim societies long time ago, and then when someone has jumped all these barriers to commit the adultery, that means he deserves to be punished. If someone jumped all these barriers against the issue of stealing, and he did steal, he deserved to be punished. If someone jumped all these over all these barriers to prevent him from committing the crime, and he killed someone, he deserves to be punished. Islam has made very clear vision in that regard, that will create the environment and atmosphere in the Muslim society to help each one individually and in general to apply the Islamic law and to comply with the Islamic ruling system and the Islamic rules and Islamic law issues. If you did not find this in any time, that means you have a lack of the completion and the perfection of this application. That means you have to stand and you have to wait and you have to put some reservation to see what is wrong with your application. So that's why we are saying right now, people, don't be afraid. We are calling upon everyone. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Be hopeful. Be encouraged. Be among the chorus of applying the Sharia, because this Sharia is going to spread justice, mercy, wisdom, happiness. And it did happen before. It can be happen again, inshallah ta'ala. But by a very comprehensive application, not by what they call it, very comprehensive applications.
What you said raised a question. When you say that when Sharia order for something, it gives the things that another system that will help Muslims to apply it. For example, adultery, and you give us a very good example, adultery. At the same time, Islam is ordering women to wear modesty, to cover themselves, and the men at the same time to lower their gaze. Well, some people will be afraid of this part, which means if you will apply the Sharia law, before you applying the Sharia law about the adultery law, that means you will force women to wear hijab, you will force women to wear modesty. Would that be a right thought, or it's out of the...
Let us ask any father, ask any person who does have a wife, any person does have a sister, any person does have a mother, because all of us, we have all of this,
yes.
Right? Alhamdulillah, we have mothers, we have wives, we have daughters, we have... So any one of these people, if you ask them, do you object? Do you mind that when your sister or your mother or your wife or your aunt walk in the street, to come back to her home, the same condition, the same criteria that she left her home? Or you don't mind to see her a subject of temptation or harassment or any kind of harmful actions by others? He will answer, I would like to see my wife, my sister, my daughter, my mother to be back to her home, the same condition, maybe in better condition. Islam this is way that Islam looks at this issue. When Islam wants to spread modesty in the society, and as a matter of fact, when Islam was being applied long time ago, not just Muslims, they were applying this criteria, the criteria of modesty. Even non-Muslims, even Christians, ladies. Christian ladies in Syria and Egypt, they were covering, not just addressing modesty. The same way Muslim, ladies, they were covering even their face. Christian ladies, they were covering their face. In Syria, in Lebanon, in Egypt, because they were within the whole atmosphere of modesty in the societies. And that was like a meaning of being proud of yourself. French colony in Syria, they were giving full respect to a Muslim lady covering even her face, till some of the rebels in Syria at that time, they were finding a very successful way to cover their identity by dressing like women, to move the weapons from area to area to defend their country from the French colonies. When the French soldier sees a Muslim lady covering, he cannot do anything but to pay respect to her. So they were respecting the Muslim ladies. And when we are asking for modesty in the society, this is not for individual person, this is for the whole societies. This is to serve men and women, to serve Muslims and non-Muslims. Do you think that Christian lady or Christian man likes to see his sister or his mother or his wife to be harassed by someone? No. All of them, they want to see their families raised up in a very healthy societies. And that will not be happen until you spread the good meanings and good principles and values in the society. One of these principles and values, modesty. And by the way, Mary, yes, but one here, no one is
the mother of Jesus.
Yes, no one is denying the condition and her way of covering, because she was a symbol of modesty.
Yes.
Alayhi salam.
But the question will remain: is Sharia will force women to wear a certain way?
Sharia will force every means to see the perfection and the completion of the application of the Sharia, the Islamic law. Because as we said, you cannot tell the people you are free, dress the way you want, and act the way you want. We are going to punish you later on. It's not justice.
I see.
Right? You cannot tell people you could take money the way you want, you could steal money the way you want, you could commit adultery the way you want, you could drink wine. It's lawful in the societies. But if you being caught while you are driving, the same way they are doing in different countries, right?
Yes.
They said don't drink and drive. When that person was caught while he's driving and he was drunk, they punish him. They ticketed him, right?
Yes.
Because he violated the law. In Islam, we don't have these contradictions. We said, you don't drink, so you don't drive while you are drunk.
I see.
They said, don't drive, don't drink, and drive. We said, don't drink in the first place, so you could drive safely. This is the Islamic way of seeing the whole pictures. Don't, as a Muslim lady or maybe any lady, don't expose your beauty. Don't expose your part of body to tempt others. So in that case, you will not encourage people or tempt people to come and harass you. And if someone harasses you, will punish him. But who deserves to be punished? Both, right?
Yes.
The one who was the reason of harassment. In Western countries, people, they dress the way they want. And women, they were harassed, right? Women, they were raped. Even little girl, because of these contradictions.
The highest rate of raping
Islam is so just and so fair and so wise. He said, if you like to prevent you from committing crime, I have to help you to be away from that crime. Don't kill anyone. Don't commit adultery. Don't rape. I will help you in that regard. I will tell you that if you insult someone, that would be like helping you to commit the crime of killing. So it's unlawful to insult anyone, to abuse someone, to maybe provoke someone, or to steal from someone, because we'd like to put you away from committing that crime.
I will stop right there. We'll go for a quick break. Please stay with us.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
In your standpoint of view, are there specific or certain criteria to choose your spouse or a partner, to marry or not to marry? Maybe that's the question. Do we revise the quality of performance of our treatment between the family members as fathers or mothers? As they say usually, it's not what you say, it's how would you say it. Wouldn't you like to be a good storyteller for your kids? Neurobiologically speaking, child abuse and emotional trauma causes scars in the brain of the child, and this might be not easily healing. What's the exact job description of a father? Is it clothing, payments and feeding, or other important things? Well, I think the job description of a father is merely giving him love and care, self-confidence, giving him sense of security, and checking for the points of strengths to stress on them. What about potty training and its planning? Oh yeah, actually, it's a state, it's a condition. Fatherhood is not a body or a person, it's a state. Are you a good or skillful designer for the policy and the long-term plans of the life of your kids? Join us every Wednesday for Family Issues.
Dear viewers, Hoda programs can be watched in the English section of the in-flight entertainment directory on board all Saudi airline flights, domestic and international. Sit back, relax and enjoy watching Hoda's entertaining and enlightening shows on your trip. Hoda wishes you a safe and successful journey. Hoda, a light in every home.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, before we went to the break, he was talking about that Islam, the Sharia law, prevent the reasons that will lead us to the crime itself, which shows the wisdom of the Sharia law. And you mentioned an example that to prevent the adultery, women have to wear in a modest way, wearing hijab, covering themselves. Men has to lower their gaze, and so on. And I asked you, is it the Sharia law, if it's applied, will force women to wear hijab? And you said, of course, it's a complete package system. But what about those who are non-Muslims, who are in the same country with us? What is the application of the Islamic law on them? Their reaction? What is the wisdom or the rules of the Sharia toward them, of the non-Muslims?
Yes. Well, let me just make it very clear, inshallah. I said that Sharia or Islamic law will force every reason to make the application of the Sharia so unique and to get to the level of perfection and completion. Whatever does help to that application, Islamic law and the state and the authority will force that to happen. As we said that we are going to force preventing being drunk or driving while you are drunk. So if that means we have to ban all liquor stores, we'll do that.
Yes.
If we said that committing the crime of raping women, one of the reasons of making this happen, because we have a very indecent maybe songs and dancing and parties, something like this, and that will bring the desire of the people to the higher level. You are encouraging them to go after the unlawful things in the societies. So anything does maybe bring this desire to its certain level, which you are not able to control it after that, because you have legalized what does bring them to that level, you have to do the opposite by banning and preventing all these reasons. So, talking about non-Muslims in the Muslim state and with the application of the Islamic law, let us talk about like Christians and Jews in the Muslim state. What is the principles of having non-Muslims within the Muslim state? First of all, is it something meant to be this way? Meant that in Islam, in Muslim state, we have non-Muslims living with us? I said yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wants, Azza wa Jal, to make it very clear, non-Muslim countries are allowed to have in their countries a non-Muslim people. Allah will do that subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Of course, it was easy.
We have in certain areas like in Mecca and Medina for a very special reason. Maybe we'll talk about this maybe in some other episode. But generally speaking, you are allowed as Muslims, as Muslim state, to have in your state non-Muslims, Jews and Christians, for very, very beautiful and very wise reason. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent this Islam not to be something to be saved in the box, not something to be as a belonging to someone. Islam is a general mercy and gift from Allah for the whole mankind. Again and again, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His wisdom, by His knowledge, to deliver this message and to make this gift applicable to everyone, at least to see it, at least to experience it, at least to live it, at least to feel it, by bringing non-Muslims with Muslims together and live together. If Muslims, they were applying their Islam, applying their Islamic teaching and rules, honestly, sincerely and seriously, that means they are showing the good picture of this Islam. That means they will be, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant it this way, to be the bridge, to be very beautiful bridge to others. Come over and see what we have. Make this exchanging between Muslims and non-Muslims in our practical life. Islam has made different channels for others, for non-Muslims, to be introduced to this Islam, and for Muslims to introduce their merchandise to others by saying, you are allowed as a Muslim to have non-Muslim in your country, first of all. At the same time, you have to give these people the right to exist, the right to worship, the right to choose, the right to protect their blood, their wealth, their everything. And at the same time, you are allowing Muslim to marry a non-Muslim woman, right?
Yes.
You said that it's lawful for a Muslim person to marry a Jew lady or the Christian lady. And this may be the highest, maybe, the most noble bridge between Muslims and non-Muslims. How could you imagine that Muslim marrying non-Muslim lady, Jew or Christian, but not to be that beautiful bridge between him and her, but to be like a very beautiful introduction to Islam to this lady. Islam has ordered, commanded Muslim, if he marry a non-Muslim lady, Jew or Christian, to be merciful, to be just, to be fair, to be nice, and to show the best out of him to this lady, just in order to be beautiful presentation to his deen and beautiful introduction to this special gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Selling, buying, dealing, having partners or company or anything like this in your practical life, the Prophet was doing this, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Visiting someone, your neighbor is Christian, and he is sick right now. To visit him is very, not just Islamic, it's very Islamic. The Prophet, he did visit someone, he was a Jew, because he heard that he was sick, and his son was listening to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet said, become Muslim. He was inviting him to become Muslim, and the son looked at his father. The Prophet was visiting a Jewish family. We have to focus on this story. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was visiting a Jewish family in Medina. He was not in need to do that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
The upper hand was for Muslim at that time, but he was doing that out of his criteria, out of his characteristics, out of the Islamic principles and philosophies and values. He was visiting a Jewish family because they were sick. The boy was sick. And the son looked at his father as if that he is taking his opinion. What do you think, Dad? Should I listen to Muhammad alayhi salam? He's telling me, he invited me to be Muslim. The father said, "Ati' Abul Qasim."
Allahu Akbar.
He said, "Obey Muhammad Abul Qasim." This is his nickname, alayhi salam. And the boy became Muslim. But he did not went to that place to visit alayhi salam, because some people, they understand this in a different way, in a very wrong way. We have to make some beautiful etiquette or beautiful action toward non-Muslims in order to bring to Islam. This not should be part of the main goal of you. Yes, you would like to deliver the message.
Yes.
To be good ambassador, good carrier and deliverer. But you have to comply with the Islamic principles and values regardless, because you are not in control of the heart of others. So you be nice to your neighbor, be nice to your maybe partner in your office, your clinic, because you have been ordered to be nice to that person.
And this is Sharia.
And this is Sharia. Not because you have made it as a conditional practice. No, you are doing this out of your Islam exactly. And then if that person will become Muslim, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not your job. You are just doing your mission, and you are showing the beauty of Islam through your practice and through your behavior, good behavior. Now, go ahead.
Yes, unfortunately we have only 2 minutes left. So the question is how we can force or how we can apply the Islamic law on the non-Muslims in a Muslim country.
Well, as we said, their own rules. They have their own rules regarding marrying or divorcing or inheritance. They have the full right to apply all of this according to their own system, their own religious teaching and rules. Going to the church or the man of religion of them, they are free to do that. Would like to come to us, our court, they are more than welcome to do that. Something in the society has to be generally applied, because this is to spread good things to everyone, prevent evil things away from everyone. Like if we said that no one is allowed to sell publicly alcohol, drinks. This for everyone, Muslim and non-Muslim, because Islam believes that you don't just prevent harmful things to reach Muslims only, but you have out of your belief to try your best to not harm anyone, even who is not Muslim. That's why reflect maybe the lack of knowledge in some Western countries. Unfortunately, some Muslims, they allow themselves and they legalize to themselves to sell harmful things to non-Muslims, like liquors, or maybe some other stuff, because they said, well, they are not Muslim. No, we are commanded to spread peace, to spread useful things, healthy things. Everything does bring happiness and bring decent life to the whole mankind. We are being commanded to do that, even within non-Muslim people.
So basically what you say that the non-Muslims, they can apply their own Sharia. The non-Muslims, like if they are Christians, they can apply their own Christian Sharia when it comes to the marriage system, the divorce system, inheritance. But they have the choice if they want to go by the Sharia law in these aspects.
Exactly.
The Islamic Sharia law, they can.
We call it the family issues.
The family
issues, they are free to go to their own system. But other maybe system in the society, like economy system, social system, judicial system, political system, it has to be covering all the society, because the good out of this has to reach everyone, Muslim and non-Muslim, and the lack of application of these systems will be harming not just Muslims, will be harming everyone.
I see. And as from my knowledge, which is a little, that I know that even when it comes to the criminal system, if we go to the Old Testament, we will find that they have almost the same Islamic system. When the thief, they have to cut off his hand, and the adultery, the same, almost identical regarding the Old Testament laws to the Sharia law. So basically, if we apply their Sharia. It's like we are applying the Islamic law. There is no differences at all.
Yeah, just to clarify this point, suppose a non-Muslim, Jews or Christians, he commit adultery publicly. That means that the judge has been received this accusation.
Okay, we will stop right there.
Right.
Unfortunately, this
To
is
be
all the
continued,
time to be continued, inshallah. We'll make a whole episode about this topic. Just a reminder, you can communicate with us through our email, islamiclawtoday@huda.tv. I would like to thank Professor Muhammad Naem Asaee for sharing his knowledge with us. Thank you for being with us. And please, we are waiting for you, inshallah, next week at the same time. So be tuned. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray. As the best of His creation, only us did He deem. This for us is honor, this high esteem. His qudrat it is that cause winds to blow. He gives us provision so that we may grow.